This is Mr. Bourne, okay? Basically, he started out, he used to like to sing, okay? It has nothing to do with the singer-sewing machine company, not that I know of. But when he was a young man, someone took interest in him. He used to sing in the choirs, and he got a job working for the singer-sewing machine company. And the interesting thing about sewing machines is that they were the high technology, high-tech gadget to have during the Victorian era, during the 19th century. That was the machine to have in the house. As you heard, people had pumps in the house, or electricity was just coming into its own. But the singer sewing machines, the original ones, if you ever saw them, they had like a pedal.
Yeah.
You used to use, and that made the needle go up and down. So the high-tech device, the thing that everybody had to have, was the singer sewing machine. So his expertise was in marketing. So what he did so well was that he was able to market and get the sewing machine out throughout the world. And this is how he made his fortune. He built the company up by marketing, by advertising, by improving the product, by showing the product off. And one of the remarkable things that he did was, the way the company really made a lot of money was, he kind of went in cahoots with this other guy, and they brought the sewing machine to the Soviet Union. Excuse me, to Russia. It wasn't Soviet Union back then. To Russia. And Russian women love to sew. Everything there is so. So then when they brought it there, when they brought the singer sewing machine to Russia, I mean, every person who had the money, they would spend their last ruble, whatever it is that they have over there, on the singer sewing machine. So one of the things that he did, this is something nobody knows, he built the first steel-framed building in Russia. Before that, everything was wood. So the singer facility in Russia was the first metal or steel-framed construction. So let's see. So he made his money, and he had a lot of expensive interests. And one of the interests that he had was, his early interest was in carriage horses. And he had some of the finest carriage horses in New York. And his first place, well, he had a number of residences in New York, but one of the most noteworthy residences was that he lived on the Dakota. But he lived in the whole first floor of the Dakota. So he had these carriage horses, and some of them were worth a fortune. I think he spent like many thousands of dollars on them. I won't give you the exact figure. On this one horse, Glendale, which mysteriously died on the farm on his property over at the Bourne Mansion. So that's a whole other story. I don't want to get into that now. So anyway, he had carriage horses, and he also raced cars in the Vanderbilt race. So he had these. His interest was in Daimler Benz, like Mercedes-Benz, before it was a Mercedes-Benz. So one of his workers who lived in his house was this person, Mr. Metzler. Let's see, where's his picture? Okay, these are the Metzlers here. Okay, this is an early picture when they lived on Dale Drive, and what this house is still there. So this is Mr. Metzler, and he was a mechanic. He was an automobile mechanic.
What address is that?
This is, I don't know the exact.
Upper part of the block?
Yeah, it's right. It's like the second house before Brook Street on that would be on the east side. Okay. Now his whole story was not documented correctly in another publication about Bourne. It was complete. They got his name wrong. Got everything wrong about him. But this is my friend's grandfather, and he was a auto mechanic. And what happened was originally they had their mechanic shop in New York, in Manhattan. And what happened was he was overcome by carbon monoxide fumes.
Oh.
So he almost died from it. So in order to recuperate, Mr. Bourne sent him out here, and he had this house built for him.
Wow. That's pretty
I
cool.
believe he had this house built for him. And he was sent out here with his family to recuperate. And then they took a lot of the automobiles and they put them over in the Bourne Mansion. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Maybe someday I can take you, we take the camera out. You want to take a drive around, I can show you different things.
Sure.
But in the Bourne Mansion, there's like right now it's used for like it used to be used for, it was they had like a nursery school in there, you know? Now it's part of the university. I don't know what it's used for now. But it's like a round, it had actually a carousel. It was a garage. And that's where they used to keep all of the cars in that area. So he worked back in that area, and he used to service all of Mr. Bourne's Daimler-Benz beautiful automobiles.
So how did you correct the story?
Because my best friend's this is my best friend's grandfather.
Oh,
He told me
okay.
the story,
So he
right?
knew the-
So that's his family.
Now, what were the repercussions from that whole carbon monoxide thing?
He got better, and he
got better.
went on. He brought his family up, and here's a picture of him later on the porch with his wife.